Well, I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was 35 years old. I started with Rubens, Cobrinha. He was my first instructor. He was living at the time in Atlanta, Georgia. I used to box, and after I started jiu-jitsu the first time, man, I fell in love with that. It was like something different that as soon as I started, I fell in love, and I had the opportunity to start with Cobrinha. And he opened my eyes to a new world of martial art. Like I said, as soon as I started, I fell in love, and I started training, and I was a blue belt when I opened my first academy, and I was more interested to compete. Back then, I used to compete. I won a lot of IBJJF as a blue and purple belt, and then after that, opening 2 academies, I was a purple belt, and today I have a nice academy. It's a 5,000 square foot facility, top of the line, and I have 4 affiliations under me, and it's been great. I got my black belt in 8 years under Lucas Lepri, and it's been amazing, the journey since I started training with some of these guys, like I believe best guys in the world. So that's how I started. Here I am now. I have a very successful academy and 4 affiliations doing very, very well. My advice for people that are doing jiu-jitsu is to approach this with patience. I think it's a very difficult sport, beautiful, but when you start, you're gonna have to have a lot of patience when you start. Like I said, it's a very difficult sport. You have to have a lot of patience, consistency, and dedication. It's not for the average human being to do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but when you do start it, my advice is always to have patience, consistency, and make sure they don't have any egos when you're doing it. It's a very humble sport. It will make you, realize that you're nobody some days when you come and train. But in some days you feel great. Majority of the time, even when you don't have ego, you always feel great after training. So my advice is to always have consistency, patience, and dedication. I think that's the formula for a good journey if you decide to stick around and do it. My advice for when you're trying to study online is to always search in a online legitimate library. Don't try to go on YouTube and find anybody there. Make sure you always resort on a legitimate of the instruction. Make sure the instructors you follow, they have some type of accomplishment as an instructor, as a compatible, whatever it is you're looking for. That person has to be very legitimate. It cannot just be anybody there up there that just teaching you a move that they don't even use when they're training. I believe the moves that you're learning from the person you're learning from, they have to be something that they use on a regular basis during training, competition. They actually put these moves to practice, not just move. They look really cool and all that, but they never use this move during training or competition. So that's my advice, to always find a legitimate online library for instruction. Make sure to check us out on trapbjj.com, where you're gonna find out legitimate instructors. They are from very active competitive to really good instructor with very successful, like myself. They have academies that are very successful. Okay, I'm gonna come in, guys, grabbing, making sure I grab below the knee. I'm gonna put my hands right below the knee, applying pressure with the palm of my hand into the hamstring of my opponent. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shove him up and keep him right there, bringing my knee to it and pushing his knee all the way down towards the mat. I bring my elbow to open up to make sure to not have any type of knee slide, knee shield coming towards you. From that position, I block the knee shield, I stretch my opponent, I release the grip on my knee, and then I'm gonna come and control the back of the neck. I apply more pressure to make sure I get a good stretch over, and then I'm gonna pommel up, control the shoulder. I get control, getting a good grip. I stretch out. I bring my knee completely against his hip. I release my heel up, and I go into hopefully a knee slide pass to a side control. looking away and applying shoulder pressure. So the same thing, guys, we're gonna come in and make sure that my foot don't go all the way over there so the person start grabbing your pain, you know, so make sure my foot stay a little higher. When I grab, I go below the knee and I put the palm of my hands inside. I'm trying to, when I'm shoving him, bring my elbow inside so I prevent any knee shield. I push his knee all the way down and I drop my knee, keeping in a stretch in this position. From that point, I'm gonna release him while on the knee. I'm gonna control the neck and I'm gonna give him a good stretch. I'm gonna fumble, controlling the shoulder. As soon as I control the shoulder, I'll look away, getting a gauge of grip. I stretch, bring my knee toward his hip. I release my heel up, and I drop my hip, coming to side control. So we're gonna go again here, making sure, you know, the elbow, I'm pushing the knee. I shut my opponent, come up. Make sure when you're doing this, that way my legs always stretch. A lot of guys, when they're doing this, they always tend to bring their legs as they're trying to do this. The guy can start grabbing you. So don't be chasing your opponent when you're in this position. You make it come to you, you drop, and your leg's gonna be all the way up, bringing the knee over. But what happens when you're doing this? You guys are coming and then bring the knee shield. I'm gonna keep controlling the leg on the bottom until I release. Before I release it, I control the pain. I release, grab the lapel, and I make sure that I stretch the leg on the bottom, completely bring it to me. I apply pressure at the top of my head on the chest. I bring my head all the way down into the knee, and then I start walking until I bypass his hips, and then I walk back until I completely touch his knee. When my knee hits hip, I slice my hand in the back of the neck, and I release, and hopefully come into side control. So the same thing, we're gonna come here. I bring my opponent to the side. I'm gonna drop the knee. I make sure as he's doing that, bringing in his shield, I'm gonna go ahead and release from here, grabbing the back of the pin. And then I go and control the lapel with the top of my head, and I stretch the leg, controlling the bottom of the knee with my right hand, with the top of my head on his chest. I walk, bypassing his hip, and then I walk back until my knee completely touches the hip. I control the back of his neck, I release, and hopefully come into the side control.